Now, like the rest of the motor trade, car auctions have been forced to change their business models during the pandemic to focus their efforts online. But for many dealers, there's nothing quite like the smell of the auction halls, the taste of that bacon roll, and the chance to give the cars a good look over at a physical event. But what does the future look like for the auction businesses? Is the motor trade going to continue to buy at the click of a mouse, or are they going to be flocking back to sites like this to kick the tyres and look the auctioneer in the eye? I'm here at G3 Auctions in Leeds. It's a purpose-built 14-acre site, and I'm going to be chatting to the owners, their car dealers that are here to buy cars, about what they think the future holds for the auction world. G3 has just opened its new facility in Leeds after a multi-million-pound investment. The 14-acre site was due to open in January, but the third lockdown saw it revert to digital sales. Now, just as car dealers are opening their doors once again, so too can the car auctions. G3 takes care of disposals for the likes of Tesla, John Clark Motor Group and Motability, and holds a regular programme of sales. I was given a tour of the site by owner Matt Dale. So Matt, thank you very much for showing us around. An amazing site you've got here. Can you tell me a little bit about the decision making that went through your mind to invest in a site like this when online is really seems to be taking over in this world?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think we are very much physical first in terms of what we're trying to do at the moment, and we've spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of investment. And speaking to the buyers still want to be able to come and touch and feel vehicles. So the investment, we think, is a wise investment in what we've done here to invite those physical buyers as well as the online buyers as well at the same time.
So tell me a little bit about what we've got here at the site. How many cars can you deal with, and what sort of volume do you do on a daily basis?
So through this site, we've got a selling capacity of 50,000 units per year. Undercover, we can store 300 vehicles undercover, and we'll process in excess of sort of 200 vehicles a day through the inspection, valet and imaging studios. So the throughput of this site is significantly greater than what we had at the previous site. And it just takes us on to that next level then in terms of that capacity.
G3 very much has a hybrid approach to sales, despite the tech-focused new facility.
The online buyers today have been significant, as they were yesterday as well. But that online environment is still very much, there's a lot of people online. We encourage them to go online. But those that physically want to come on site, they can interact using the apps, they can use the desktop versions, or they can come and sit in the auction hall or stand in the auction hall and bid accordingly as well.
Shall we have a look inside the
Yes.
auction hall?
Yep.
You've clearly spent a lot of money putting this place together. It looks absolutely fantastic. The huge screens and what is it with an auction, or a physical auction, that you think dealers love?
I think a lot of it is the engagement and talking to one another. There's so much that the dealers like to talk and speak and just find out what's going on in the market, and that's very difficult to do it online. People like to come meet others and just see how good the market is or how bad the market is, and that can be done in this type of environment. And what we've tried to create, I suppose, here is a welcoming environment so the online buyers can still bid with our new technology, and the physical buyers can come and have a nice, warm, obviously nice environment for them to buy in.
The motor trade certainly likes being back in the auction halls. TV's Mike Brewer and our used car awards host was at the G3 sales to help launch the new site. He auctioned off 2 of his cars from Mike Brewer Motors and was clearly delighted to be back in the lanes.
There's nothing better than coming to a physical auction and kicking the tyres, sucking in that carbon monoxide, eating a bacon sandwich, and just talking to your colleagues, talking to the car trade, and having an interaction with people to find out what's happening in the marketplace, what they're up to, what you're doing. I know that online auctions are there, and this is an online auction as well as a physical auction, but I just like to touch the metal.
But with years of experience in the motor trade, what does Mike think the future looks like for auctions?
The future for auctions is both. I think the need for a physical auction is always going to be there. Obviously, online auctions are now playing a massive part in the way that the car world works, especially in my world, the classic car world. Classic car auctions online are doing phenomenally well. But there is still this need for people to get out there and touch the metal and see the metal. And it all comes down to what the price point is. If you're looking at those dealers that are stocking cars anywhere between 2,000 to 5,000, you can take a risk and buy something online. If you're 5,000 to 15,000, like the cars we're seeing today, I think those dealers want to come here, they want to touch the metal, they want to see it, they want to know where they're putting their money. And so I think that's the way that the auction world's going to work in the future. I think we're going to have a mixture of both, and that's a good thing.
While many car dealers prefer bidding online, there are still just as many who are excited to see the auction halls open again. Jamie Caple was the boss of used car award-winning site Car Key, and he told us he was very happy to be back buying cars in person.
It's amazing, you can see the smile on my face, being back in the hall, hearing the auctioneers, smelling the fuel, hearing the cars running. It's brilliant, it's brilliant. I'm excited, as you can probably tell. I think there's a combination of both. It's brilliant to be here today, to actually physically re-inspect some of the cars, because you get an online report and then you get to see them, and I suppose we all interpret cars a little bit differently. But I think going forward, yeah, a lot of the buying has moved online, but this type of facility, which is very clean, very accessible, and very easy to navigate your way around, will encourage me to come back out of the office and physically get back in the hall. So I think physically being here, you can maybe get a bit more of a relationship with the auctioneers and the business itself. You get to see the cars. You can't always hear a car or see a car or get a feel for a car through a screen. They do a very good job at G3 of photographing, videoing, and putting all the stuff online. But I think, yeah, there's just nothing like actually physically seeing it, touching it, and then visualising that vehicle arriving on your forecourt, and then ultimately you selling it and handing it over to a customer.
Pershore Motor Group boss Daniel Wilkinson was also at the G3 sale. He runs a two-site used car business in Worcestershire, selling up to 200 units a month. He was happy to be back in the lanes and hopes physical sales will continue in the future.
Loads better. You buy with so much more confidence, being able to touch the cars, see the conditions, make your own mistakes rather than trusting other people's mistakes. It's just a better buying feeling. Also gives you confidence when you're bidding. If there's other bidders, you kind of know that you've not got it wrong at the same point. I hope it's going to be physical. So traditionally, prior to the lockdown, I was buying 1,500 cars a year from auction. Last year, I probably bought 150, and everything else bought off a trade network that's been developed online for the occasion. But it's nice. The reason I'm here today is the first time I've been to G3. I bought online a couple of weeks ago just to see what the quality was like. Travelled up today just so I can get back into a physical auction, touch the cars, buy them, make my own decisions.
The vendors seem to have missed the sales too. Bill Ewan is Available Cars Group Valuation and Disposals Manager.
Missed it, like the banter with the buyers, sort of the contact. I think you can't get it online, you can't have a conversation, you can't have a laugh. I think a lot of them get a bit of auction fever when they see other people bidding, which you can't see online. It's been a great day.
Well, what do you think the future holds for auctions? Do you think it's physical or do you think it's going to be online?
I think the future is online, but not for most probably 5 years, because a lot of people still like to come and feel and touch. Our customers, they do buy online, the younger generation, but the older generation still like to come down, touch it, feel it, drive it.
I also asked G3's Matt Dale what he thought would happen to used car prices this year. They were particularly buoyant in 2020, and that's already continued to be the case in 2021.
I think there will be a shortage of vehicles. We've seen that now. We've seen the prices starting to edge up. I think retail demand, speaking to some of the dealerships today, they've had a real good start to the post-lockdown. And I expect that the price will continue to increase for the rest of this year, or for the majority of this year. There'll be less peaks and troughs, I think. And then it'll be interesting to see how that sort of pans out in the next sort of 18 months to 2 years. But I think for the rest of this year, we expect strong results, strong conversions, and engaged buyers, and obviously from the retail public, hopefully buying retail stock, which then will have a knock-on effect to the trade prices as well.
While it was clear those in the G3 auction halls were happy to be back, having invested so much in its new site, what does Matt think the future looks like?
Good question. I think there are two different camps of what people think the future of auctions. We still believe for the foreseeable future that online and physical will work together. Where we will be in 10 years' time or 15 years' time, I think is yet to be seen. But we very much believe that physical has an important part to play with certain stock in getting the maximum possible value. So where we'll be in 5 years' time, I think we'll slightly move from where we are today. Where we'll be in 10 or 15 years' time, it'll be interesting to see where we end up. But we still believe that there is a requirement and a need and a desire to have a physical environment as well.
Well, it's quite clear from the car dealers I've been chatting to today that they love being back at a physical auction. While a blend of online and physical might be the future, the dealers making the trip here today love being able to check out the vehicles in person, catch up with their colleagues and grab a bargain. This new G3 auction site is very impressive, and importantly it offers car dealers a choice. If they want to buy online, they can, but if they fancy doing it in person, it offers an impressive facility for them to do it. For more videos like this one, log on to cardealermagazine.co.uk and click on the Live tab at the top of the page. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye.